Hello and welcome. My name is Lino Tadros, and in this video, you will see how easy it is to work with other LLM models inside of Azure AI Studio. Beside the regular OpenAI models like GPT-4 and 4.0 and all of these that come from OpenAI. Definitely, we're going to learn how to work with free open source ones like Phi-3 and Phi-3.5 and Llama and many others that are really available to you from Azure AI Studio. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at how to do that. From previous videos I've done, you probably have seen how I can create a project, how I can create a hub, and how to do all of these things. I'm going to take my picture off of there so it doesn't actually take away some of the UI that I wanted to see. So let me turn that off. Alrighty, let me go ahead and open up that project here that I created in a previous video as well. When I go to deployment for the specific project I created in Azure AI Studio, you'll notice that I have GPT-3.5 Turbo and GPT-4 and even an embedding model being deployed. I can keep going to deploy model and add more models. Maybe I want to bring in OpenAI GPT 4.0, no problem. But the question is, are there any other models, especially open source and free ones, that I don't have to pay for the tokenization for it and so on? And the answer is absolutely. Click on deploy based model right there. And you will see a huge list. So you can go down in here, you can definitely use the search capability, but you can actually use, again, all the GPT ones in here are available from OpenAI. But if you go down a little bit, you'll notice there is the Phi-3 and then the Phi-3.5 and all the newer ones from Meta, from Llama and Llama 3 and 3.2. based on the amount of billions of parameters being passed to them. So, and you will see going down, you will notice there are Mistral, for instance, and Cohere, and there is even, you can get tons more from Hugging Face, which Azure AI Studio makes it very, very easy to get to. I just want you to notice the number all the way at the top in here. 1,791 models available for you to be able to deploy from right inside of Azure AI Studio in minutes right away. So let's go ahead and find out maybe Phi. We'll search for something called Phi. And we'll take the first one. This is the newest one as of the time of this recording, Phi-3.5 mini instruct. I'm going to click on that and we'll say confirm. All right, I want you to notice something very important in here. Microsoft is asking you inside of Azure AI Studio, do you really want to create a dedicated VM to run this on that you're going to be paying per hour for, okay? Especially that the Phi 3.5 mini is actually free, right? And the tokenization is free, but if you decide to do that, you will actually have to pay at least per hour for the machine that you're hosting this on. Or we can just for testing create a serverless API with Azure AI content safety. So remember, this is not GPT, all right? That means inside of Azure AI Studio, all the GPTs have content safety turned on by default, okay? But this is not one of those. This is Phi 3.5. So you get to choose whether you want to use content safety, which has a different cost associated with it, of course, or not. If you choose to use your own VM, it will not come with content safety. It will be your job to add that if you would like. But if you use the serverless one, which is very fast to be able to test something with instead of actually dedicating a specific machine for it, that automatically turns on content safety. So put that in mind as well. I'm going to go with the serverless one for right now. Let's click on that. And then it will come up with that screen and it will tell you, do you want to allow the content filter? The default now is enabled. The content filter will be enabled. And it will come up with a weird name, actually, for the deployment name. You can change it if you'd like. I'm going to leave it as is. If you'd like to see the pricing and the terms, you can go in here and see all the pricing, what you will be paying per hour for the serverless and so on. You're more than welcome to do that. And it changes every once in a while as well. Let's go ahead and deploy this. And I'm going to actually stop the recording and I'll come back after the deployment has taken place. It will say creating in here in the provisioning. It will take usually a few minutes and then it will be successful and will be ready to go. And indeed, it did a pretty good job. Actually, it didn't take more than a minute and a half, which is pretty good. It is successful. Notice it gives you the endpoint. This is the URI for how you can actually hit the endpoint for your serverless implementation. And this is the API key that you can use if you're writing code, for instance, in Python or Postman or JavaScript or C# that you'd like to access that specific model using the endpoint in here as well. Also notice at the bottom that the Azure AI Content Safety has been enabled by default because I did not turn it off, so it is available as well on this model. All right, great. Let's go ahead and try it. I'm going to go ahead on the project playground. We'll click on chat. Automatically display ground will probably be using one of the 3.5 Turbo GPT or 4.0, but notice that I actually deployed the Phi-3.5, so I want to try this one this time. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to change the system prompt to tell the system, like I've done in previous videos, as a healthcare company. I would like to give you a better prompt than that. So let me go ahead and paste it in here and I'll show you what this looks like. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So this is an AI assistant that helps a healthcare customer service to extract valuable information from their conversation to create JSON files to each conversation transaction you receive. You always try to extract and format as a JSON. The customer name, the customer contact phone number, the main topic of the conversation, the sentiment, how the agent handled the conversation, what was the final outcome of the conversation, and then a really brief summary of the entire conversation itself. Only extract information that you are sure of. If you are unsure, write unknown, not found in the JSON file itself. So I'm going to give you a conversation that the customer support team will receive, for instance, on a daily basis, that will have a customer saying something and then the agent will be replying and so on and so forth. The customer service agent, I mean, okay? So how do we actually test something like this? So first of all, you want to make sure that you are on the deployment of the Phi-3.5 mini in here. And you'll have to actually make sure that you also save all of that. So don't forget to click on the button that says save at the bottom. This is newer version, maybe about a week ago. There used to be a button here that says apply changes. It changed, now it's called save instead of apply changes, but it's the same thing, no problem. We'll click on save. Once you say continue in here, if you had already conversations before in here, once you say save, that will automatically throw away the cache and you will start a brand new chat session. Just put that in mind as well. Whenever you click on the save button, that will be the case. So let's go ahead and mimic a conversation. So I'm going to put here a conversation, let's say Control V, and there will be a lot of a conversation in here going back and forth between the customer service agent and a client that is very unhappy about the bill that they just received from the clinic that they were visiting, for instance. And it goes back and forth like 10 times. Unfortunately, you cannot see it in that small text box, but we will see it once we submit it. And I want to find out, can actually this prompt be able to extract from the entire conversation 10 times going back and forth? What is the name of the person calling? What's their phone number? What's the topic, the sentiment? And not only that, I don't want it in a text format. I want you to give it to me in a JSON format like I told you from the system prompt. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. We'll say send. This is the entire conversation. The agent says, hello, welcome to blah, blah, blah. And then the client will say hello. But look at that. It came back. And this could be running pretty much locally if you want. I mean, we're putting this in a serverless API available inside of Azure itself, but I can download something like Olama and install on my machine Phi-3.5 mini, and all this conversation and all this work can happening right on my machine. It's about a 4.5 gigabyte worth of model, the Phi-3.5 mini, and you can definitely get an incredible results, and you're not paying for the tokenization, you're not paying for the hosting. You can just test this on your machine locally, no problem. So it was able to read the conversation, give you back in JSON format, the name, the phone, the sentiment is negative. It means the person was not happy about the bill they received. And then it gives you the full summary of what that is. And you can choose to, of course, save that summary inside something like a Cosmos DB database or any other database so that management can actually take a look at it once a week and so on and so forth. It's definitely extremely powerful to be able to use something like this without paying any tokenization money or hosting, as a matter of fact. Sounds good? I hope this was useful to you, and we'll see you again soon in another video for Azure AI Studio. Thank you.